Alright guys, hello and welcome to TyRanT versus Nadya's boys. Clan Masters winners bracket round 2 clash. Highly anticipated clash that people have been looking forward to all day long. We've had a series of great games today and yesterday actually. And we'll be hoping that these follow on from that. I do have a pause right at the start of the game here, so I'll hold off on introducing the I was going to say I'd hold off on introducing the maps and the players for a little while, but it seems they're ready to go. It's just Viper saying his sound needed fixing, but everything seems to be okay. Hopefully we have no restarts and we're into game 1 now. So I am on the point of view of Zuppy in the blue, playing for Nadya's boys, just looking to see where the flanks are here. It looks like the flanks are, it's kind of left versus right actually. We'll start down the bottom with Northern Pike. He's playing Viking flank in the teal colour. This is Arabia 4v4 team random civs, of course, so a little bit of a look factor, like always really with the pockets and the flanks, but you know, it just adds to the variability when you've also got the full range of different civs that you could end up with. He's got Mayan's pocket Loiser, so that's interesting. We've got 2 archer based civs on this southern side. We'll have to see how that pans out. Zuppy playing Britain's pocket. Wow, this is not going to have a lot of knights in this game. Certainly we don't have a paladin civ at all. So Zuppy blue Britain's pocket. Good pockets, of course. They've got a very strong boom and they can flood cavaliers, but ultimately they lack the upgrades they need to make those really viable and strong in the late game. And then we've got Mentalist playing Byzantine's flank. That can be exciting. Obviously it's always a risk going forward in a team game or just doing a heavy feudal play, but if there is ever a combination that could result in that, it's Mentalist playing Byzantines. So we'll see how that pans out. He's playing the red colour. Opposite him is Viper, playing under the name of Pogba. So if you're not a football fan, the reason why Viper has changed his name, he's a huge Manchester United fan, of course, and they have recently opened their checkbook to the tune of £89 million, I think, to make Paul Pogba the most expensive footballer in history, and he's their new star signing. So clearly Viper is very, very excited about the prospect of Paul Pogba gracing Old Trafford, and he's changed his name, which I don't think he's ever done before on his main account. But yeah, he's playing in the grey colour, facing off against Mentalist, northern flank. In the pocket for TyRanT supporting Viper is Doubt, playing Byzantines in the orange colour. And then on the other side we've got Mayan pocket for Riot. So this is interesting. We've got 2 Mayan pockets, both in the same position, basically opposite each other. Riot in the purple colour, playing that Mayan pocket for TyRanT. Then finally rounding out the player lineup, we've got TyRanT Fire playing Vikings flank. So Vikings flank down here as well. It's a mirrored situation in a sense. We can just see one of Fire's villagers going down. Presumably he didn't have Lumi, of course. Might have been a couple of hits on the hill as well. So bad start for Fire there. And looks like Nadya's boys are trying to use their scouts to pick off another of Fire's villagers. Fire's had some rough starts in Clan Masters games up to this point, but generally it's not been because of the enemy's activity. It's because of his own team's activities. During games where TyRanT have not been exactly hard pressed to emerge victorious from the series, shall we say, they have had a little bit of fun by repeatedly laming Fire and stealing his boars, stealing the boars of their own teammate. But such play today against a team as good as Nabs will see them losing most likely, so we won't see any of that silliness today. They're going to have to play in maximum gear to win today. Especially as I haven't seen the likes of Doubt playing very much at all lately, but there's a question, isn't there, how much does Doubt actually ever get rusty? To a degree, certainly, but he always seems to come back even after a period of inactivity at still a very, very good level. So let's have a look, see if we see anything like Drush coming out now. We're starting to get around to the barracks timing that you would often see. We see Mentalist laying down a barracks on this side, managing to push in a lot of deer as well. We saw Riot helping Fire to push in Deer 2. Drush and Wall for Viper. Getting a head start on walling up that map at the front, which is pretty open. I guess he can go all the way up to here. That wood line has a hole at the back, so let's keep an eye on that. Be interesting to see if he finds it. Let's quickly just have a look at his point of view. Let's check it if he's got the expert scouting. Oh no, but he presumably doesn't think that forest goes to the edge of the map, so I assume he'll close it off in due course. But in the meantime, that would take 2 minutes to go around, so not too bad that he won't close that off until later on. Let's look at the bottom. Don't see a drush for Pike on the flank just yet as Vikings. He's going up to the feudal age. Fire also on the way to the feudal age, so both Vikings players forgoing a drush here, gonna play flush instead. Both on relatively fast feudal times here, although Fire obviously one villager behind. Just looking at this map for Fire, he's got a nasty looking front gold. There is a massive hill in front of it, and he's relatively open across the front really. Second gold is not in a very nice spot. It's kind of hard to TC unless you put it there. And I wonder who's got third gold, that is. I'm guessing that's Pike's. Yeah, Fire with a lot of forward gold here. Not the best looking map for him, to be sure. Viper's managed to get all of his deer in behind his wall. That would be good for him. A nice extra food boost there. In a good spot. Second mill, not something you always see, but can be worthwhile. It's a lot of fast food, even though those deer were probably quite lurable, I'd say. So Mentalist Drush will head out. He's on the way to the feudal age, and if Mentalist past games are anything to go by, wouldn't be surprised to see him getting the Man-at-Arms upgrade as well. But you have to see if that's worth. You have to make the judgment whether that's worth it based on Viper's walling. So a little bit of scout skirmish trying to delay Fire again here. We see Pike's scout is here along with Loiser's. They're doing good harassment, but all of the scouts here are on very low HP, so the villagers will still be quite strong. Those scouts... Actually, Pike's has got the +2 now already. He's already in the feudal age. So Fire's archery range is going up. Going to be around the same time as Pike, so both players, obviously Vikings flank playing presumably double archery range here. Yeah. New ranges for both. Mentalist is now worming his way around, but Viper has found the hole, and he's looking very, very closed off indeed. In fact, full wall. This could probably have been negotiated a little bit better with Riot to go across here and close that off, but it doesn't matter too much. Do still have Mayan team wall bonus, a cost bonus in this situation. Mentalist may pick off this villager that's trying to wall. She will get 800 HP in the house, so that's not going to be a vulnerability in Viper's map, but nice to pick up a Vil, and Mentalist can continue, or start to poke away at those palisades there. Let's take a look at the pockets, see what they're doing. See, Ria is going to stone, so looks like he's going to do Mayan plumed archer play from the pocket, likewise for Loiser, so no Mayan pocket slinging. In a sense, there's no obvious other player to sling in this game, so I think that's a good choice. Both of them going to Castle Age with basically identical times, 1 second between them, and same population, so Loiser and Riot playing identical at this point, pretty much. Let's have a look at how this is going down here with the Vikings players. Some archers and some skirmishers for Fire. Same sort of mix for Pike, so perfectly mirrored play almost in the southern half of the map, in the 2v2 that's going on down there. It just shows you, doesn't it, the level of these players, how similarly they end up playing, and there's barely any minute differences between the two of them at this point. Or the four of them. So let's see if Mentalist is watching. He's obviously right-clicked on this palisade, and Vibe's going to get some free hits, but Mentalist is looking. Scout is there, though, to help out, and Mentalist's militia should get cleaned up. Or at least forced away at this moment. Although Mentalist will try and take the hill, but it's a bad engagement, and Viper's still going to have some high HP militia in play, but with Mentalist now having transitioned to ranges, of course he'll easily pick those off with just a little bit of micro, notwithstanding the Gaia trying to help out Viper with that wolf attacking his units. Let's have a look. 2 ranges for Mentalist. Blacksmith, nice back goal for him. He does have an open map across the front, but okay towards the rear certainly. But I'm just going to go to Mentalist point of view because I want to see his resources. It seems that he's not clicked up to the castle age just yet. He's actually got quite low resources, whereas Viper has managed to pull off more of a fast castle play here. It's going to be a 1730 castle time, so not that fast, but certainly he won't be hanging around in the feudal age for a long time to come, as Mentalist will be. So Viper potentially going to be racing into the lead in the north against Mentalist, with Britain's cheap TCs getting to the castle age early over your opponent is a big advantage. Meanwhile, Pike and Fire, we said they're playing very similar. They're just skirmishing right now. Neither player has an advantage over the other to really want to commit to the fight, and Fire actually opting for a lot of skirmishes plus padded archer armor, so quite a defensive style of play there. 1 or 2 kills between the two of them. Fire's managed to close off the entirety of the front of his map. This is serious tournament play here. And Knights are starting to stream out from Zuppy in the Britain's pocket. He's going 2 stables, which is quite an aggressive play, but even so, able to afford 2 extra town centres straight away as well. Aided by that Britain's bonus, of course, but I quite like the 2 stable approach, considering that Mentalist is going to end up a bit behind against Viper. And there's not going to be an absolute ton of knights in the field in this game. A lot of archers and ranged units civs here, so one player heavily committing to knights, even if they're not the best knights, they can still turn out pretty well. So Mentalist and Zuppy trying to apply some pressure now, picking off a Vil, but Viper is, no, that house will go down, so they're going to be in. Viper does have a okay number of crossbows, just fletching done for now. But a few knights can help to fight against those with the archers in the back from Mentalist, and that's forcing Viper away from his lumber line. He's having to go over here to try and locate some more wood and send those villagers to build. TC on gold. Trading volleys right now. And we have another pause. We've had a few of these thus far. Hopefully there are no problems. Doesn't seem to be much lag for the 2 teams at the moment. Viper with the almost overlapping TC's approach there. But it's securing important resources for him.
Yes.
He's temporarily pushed away from this front wood line. So getting a TC down on wood and gold in the back is important there. Let's return to the south, where both Viking players with large armies. Some good hills for both players to cling to, but Pike has the elevation advantage as long as he stays on his hill on the left, and it just seems like he's trading a little bit better in the micro now. 9-4 in the kills to death ratio. Does have a large army, and he himself, I said Fire committed to skirmishes a lot, but Pike made a great many as well, although he doesn't have padded archer armour. Plume's now starting to arrive from rear in the pocket. Loys are likewise bringing a few forward, so we're going to see similar types of play here. Skirmishes up on the hill, trading fire. I'm just going to return to the north to see what's going on here. 2 players mostly disengaging. Let's go back down here. This hill with the higher elevation really causing some problems for the TyRanT team at the moment, but Doubt has elected to leave Viper to fight alone for now and to send knights over to this side, which is really going to help out. And Nabs will have to fall back from that hill. So with Doubt down here, the question is how much ground are Mentalist and Zuppy making on Viper, and the answer is not a lot. They're just coming back to regroup a little bit. Zuppy could really catch those crossbows out potentially, but Viper's on point. He's continually running back to the TC whenever necessary. And for the first time in the game, we see Fire pushing out, trying to do some damage to Pike. As Doubt and Riot chase down Loids' plumes. We now see Fire going into that wood line, not picking a Vil just yet. Won't take a terribly long time to break through that palisade, despite only having feudal archery range units. That is a large army there, and if Pike wants to try and hold fire in that position, as he looks like he's trying to do, then he's going to be fighting against the hill bonus. He does have quite a large army here. Doubt going to probe around Loisa's base, but castles and TCs in important locations. It's going to be difficult to raid Loisa. Zuppi now with a large number of knights. He's on to 11 to Doubt's 8. Most of Doubt's are kind of in the middle of the map, not doing too much at the moment. I'm kind of looking at Mentalist's villagers and seeing that he's falling behind a little bit right now. Pike also with just the 41. Fire, maybe a villager behind, but a villager ahead, sorry, once the castle age upgrades are factored in. So now Riet has advanced to fire and tried to help support him in pushing to Pike's base with plumes on the hill as well. No Bodkino done just yet, but that would have represented a sizable amount of firepower if only fire had stayed there too. But with fire looping around to the left, Riet is forced back despite only facing feudal units. That's a lot of skirmishers though. As long as they don't get cleaned up by Doubt's knights coming across, elite skirm and crossbows kicking in for Pike, they'll be able to defend well against either the archery units from fire or plumes coming from the pocket for Riet. Seems like Doubt not quite paying attention to these knights here, because he maybe could have picked up a couple more kills. Looks like 2 spearmen that went down here. A Mentalist reacts quickly to secure this wood line, but it's not looking very efficient. A lot of idle there, hard to get saturation, and he's going to be a little bit vulnerable if those knights loop around the oasis. He probably will try and continue this war towards the mining camp, stop the knights getting in. Let's see how many villagers go down here. Could be quite a few. 3 spearmen is not going to take down those knights, not even close. And Mentalist doesn't have much else here. Most of his army, as we look on the map, is forward. We can see red blotches forward. And Mentalist is not running vills towards the TC from up here. I fear that quite a few more could go down, but that's actually gone okay for him. I don't think Doubt was microing the knights against spears too well, and they've taken a lot of hits from those spears. So now Mentalist, this is what he was mainly focused on. His army's pushing into Viper's base, and he has a lot of crossbows now. This is 38 to Viper's 18, and Zuppy's here with 20 knights as well. +2 armor kicking in for him. As soon as that's done, they'll be ready to go in. Yeah, you can see that that's what they were talking about in TeamSpeak there. I think they were saying wait for +2 armor and then let's go. And they're going to go and push in and presumably do a lot of damage to Vipers, trying to get another TC up in the north here. Some of those vills could go down. +2 knights and all of those crossbows in support. Viper could lose his entire army now, and Zuppy and Mentis are in fantastic position to do huge damage to Viper. Actually now on the lowest score for his team by quite some distance. And more vills will go down. I want to quickly flick over to the south to see what's going on. Looks like Riet is coming forward to try and support Fire a little bit more. Castle on this hill behind Fire's base. They're both up, well, he's up to the Imperial Age, along with Imperial Age upgrade kicking in for Loisa. So Loisa and Riet still playing identically, almost as Mine's pockets. 92 vills, 83. So Loisa actually surpassing Riet with the boom a little bit here, but Viper is getting slaughtered right now. He's losing vills left and right, taken down to 63. Mentalist and Zuppy do need to do the damage though, because Viper is, of course, still quite a way ahead of Mentalist in terms of villager number, and with all these TCs up, he will be able to catch up. So they, it is imperative that they do good damage here. They're inflicting good idle time though, as well as actually killing the villagers. See, lots of these TCs don't have working villagers. Viper's pushed off the mines. All of that will help. Doubt's bases are looking very safe. He's got a great boom, 101 villagers. That's the most in the game by some distance. Riet just being annoying around the fringes of Loisa's base, getting some kills on the farms that we can see here, but it's not going to be massively impactful. Apart from the Mines players, it's Doubt who is the next player to click up to the Imperial Age. He'll be there in about 3 game minutes. Wonder how Zuppy's doing in that regard. Still quite a long way away. Obviously, he went with the heavier knights play, 25 military on the field to Doubt's 18, and he went 2 stables earlier on. Slowly blew down a little bit, but now Viper's losing army yet again. Mentalist actually has 2 large groups of crossbows here, and now Doubt is coming to really help out Viper. We haven't seen him helping Viper too much in this game, but a great spot on the hill there for Mentalist, and bunching those crossbows up so that they can't be surrounded, and they continue to occupy Viper's base right in the middle of all the town centres, slaughtering villas left and right. Doubt can't do anything about that. With Cavalier and +4 maybe he can do something, but not right now. Meanwhile in the south, the two players for each team are now starting to have a big engagement. We've seen a few mangonels go down, but not many corpses here, so this fight hasn't been going on too long. Rhea, with his Imperial Age, is actually going to transition into Elite Eagles, which I think is a great choice. Playing against Vikings and Mayans, and with so many skirmishes on the pitch, football on the brain, on the field, you can tell the Premier League has kicked off again this weekend. So many skirmishes on the field, I think Elite Eagle Warriors is a great choice, and obviously we're seeing the same line of thinking from Loiser, because we've seen Loiser and Riot doing the same thing all game long. This is an insane number of barracks, it will be. You have to see if Loiser can actually maintain production from all of them. Now we're looking on the upgrades front. Eldorado +1, +4, more or less the same. Actually, I'd say Loiser, we did see he had a little bit better boom than Rhea, and he's actually slightly ahead in the upgrades just for now. This could be quite deadly. There is a hole here if Pike doesn't seal that up. This could be a bloodbath. Oh, there's not a hole. I could have sworn there was a hole because the villager was like round the corner of the house, but even so, that house won't last long if they try and push through there. Rhea and Fire are taking the hill, looking menacing. Loiser can actually go and fight that from the north, and Pike's heading around the west to try and cut them off, but they get into Pike's eco. He's on 81 vills to Fire 79, so pretty even at the moment, but we'll have to see if that still rings true after this fight. Right now, Loiser is going in with his Elite Eagles, but Pike's a little bit out of position, and it's Fire who's got the hill of the 2 Vikings players, so this could prove pretty decisive down here. This is an important fight. I just want to quickly flick to the north to see what's going on there as well. Huge fight, so it's hard for us to look at both sides, but I assume this will go well for Mentalist because he's got Mentalist team, because he's the one with the hill. However, +4 on Cavalier for Doubt could make the difference. It's going to be hard to tell. Zuppy is only hitting the Imperial Age in a little while. He's losing most of his knights, and Doubt is really cleaning up there. All the knights are gone for Zuppy, and now Mentalist is going to lose his entire army to +4 Cavaliers. That is a fantastic fight for TyRanT. Let's return to the south. Seems like, in fact, I don't know what it seems like, just taking stock. It seems Riot lost most of his eagles here. Loiser probably with the most eagle warriors still, but it's Pike of the 2 Vikings players who's lost their army, whereas Fire still looking in better shape, although about to lose it all to Loiser's eagles. So I think the end result of this engagement is that both Vikings players have lost all their military, and now it's up to the Mayans' pockets to continue the aggression. Loiser looking like he's in a slightly better position in terms of military mass at the moment. How are the upgrades doing? Just the same right now, only Blast Furnace missing for both players. Doubt though is playing a monster game, 130 villagers, 32 Cavaliers with +4 done. They're now applying pressure to Mentalist base, and the hole has been opened up, so as soon as they want to, they can go in. And Doubt is now doing that. Mentalist is lucking in all kinds of trouble. His Imperial Age upgrade is kicking in, but he's running villagers en masse. His map is pretty horrible. He barely has any resources to go and run villagers to. The wood lines are disgusting, and he'll be firmly on the defensive. Zuppy, meanwhile, maybe he was going for longbow transition. We see that Bodkin out kicking in, some longbows coming out, but he did get Cavaliers upgrade. Unfortunately for him, after doing that, he didn't have many knights left to upgrade, so he'll be firmly at a disadvantage against Doubt, and Doubt actually going with the Paladin. Did I say at the game that no Civ got Paladin? I can't remember. I assume someone facepalmed in the chat if I said that. I have a vague memory of saying it. I wasn't looking at the Civs properly. But anyway, yeah, Doubt going with Paladins. Obviously the Paladin, potential Paladin player for Mentalists, for Nadya's boys, is Mentalist, who is being destroyed right now. He's going down to 68 villagers, so, and pretty much a lot of those are idle or not really gathering resources optimally and are in very exposed positions, so we won't see a Paladin army on the field for Nadya's boys, and that's going to be really important because obviously this is, we've got so many kind of archer units, ranged units on the field that having one player going Paladins will be very, very useful. Pike trying to wall up at the front. Keep those eagles out, of course. Whenever eagles charge through the hole, mass death usually ensues. He's going to go Arbalest as the Vikings flank, trying to make that upgrade in the Imperial Age. Let's see if Fire is doing the same. He's getting a castle up, second castle, and he's making Berserk's transition. This isn't something you see every day, but it's gonna be pretty good if he goes Elite Berserk against Loiser's Eagles. Loiser does actually have an insane number of Eagles right now, 67. Maintaining having slightly more than Rhea. But Elite Berserks for Fire could change that. I'd say overall though TyRanT have got a pretty good position in this game right now. Mentalist going Arbalest, but when Viper again eventually recovers from the setback that he suffered earlier on, and he more or less has done, 120 vills and more or less in the Imperial Age now, he'll be able to get better Arbalest than Mentalist, and then you've got Zuppi playing weaker Cavaliers against Doubt's Paladins. Trying to make the Halb transition, which will be fine against the Paladins, but with Britain's Arbalests in the background, you have to question how long those Halberdiers will be able to stay alive to fight against the Paladins. And Mentalist about to lose a TC and another 5-6 vills there. Looking pretty dangerous. And Nab's here. And TyRanT have actually taken a pretty commanding score lead as well now. So Fire is continuing with that Berserk transition. No elite upgrade coming in just yet. He's getting all the blacksmith upgrades. Pike is just trying to hold the line for now, but he's lost access to his third gold on the front, and Fire is taking a really commanding position on the front of Pike's base now. There are some large hills there, including the one that overlooks the gold, and Fire almost being very, very ambitious trying to get a castle there on that hill. That would have been fantastic for him, but he's going to have to do it just a little bit further back, but it's still fine. It will force Pike away from trying to hold here. And now Loiser having to retreat in the face of those Berserks joining Riet's Eagles. Just looking at populations in general, seems a lot better for TyRanT overall. There's only Doubt in the game is at the pop cap more or less, but Riet is quite close. Loiser a little bit less, and then obviously Mentalist and Pike are struggling quite a lot in comparison to Fire and Pogba. If we think about Viper, I'm not going to start calling him Pogba, that would be sacrilege. Struggling quite a lot when we, in comparison, when we think about the flanks, and the GG is being called with both flanks for Nadya's boys crumbling. I think Doubt was a real, well, he's one of the real deciding factors in this game. That fight we saw somewhere up here, I can't remember exactly where it was on the map. I think it was this hill, possibly, was it? Or that one. But anyway, when they took that fight in Lake Castle, or early Imperial Age for Doubt, because the Cavaliers were there, that was a real deciding factor in the north, and was probably the biggest thing that led to the GG here, with Mentalist kind of losing so much ground and having most of his base wiped out. His map was open, but TyRanT took full advantage of it. Let's take a quick look at the achievements before backing out for game 2. Doubt with most resources collected there in terms of food and wood. Biggest boom. Great kill to death ratio. I said at the start of the game, like, Doubt never gets rusty, and kind of proving it there Fantastic performance by him. Alright, let's back out and keep the games running on. Hopefully we have players on 7 out of 8, so hopefully someone is going to up, maybe someone just rejoining, sorting out the connection. But we'll be back for game 2 in just a moment, and that's going to be Nadya's boys home map. Wouldn't be surprised to see Black Forest. Still waiting for the players to launch the game. They are at least in the game setup screen. Actually, no, spectator delay is counting down, so 1 minute 60 seconds until we're into the game. And 8th Wonder has arrived. He's subbed in for Loiser, who has, I don't know, gone AWOL. Don't know if he had to leave or something. So we'll have one change of player for Nadya's boys. Don't know what the map is just yet. Although, like I said, BF wouldn't surprise me because TyRanT don't like it.